Hi, and welcome to the second hour of Free for All Friday on Focal Point AFR Talk. I encourage you to give us a call. Join the conversation. 888-589-8840 is the number to call, and we will be glad to make you a part of the conversation. Been tracking what's been happening. President Obama now not only barricading the World War II Memorial, but tying the barricades together with wire so they can't be moved. Somebody's going to have to come in there with tin snips or a bolt cutter to be able to give 91-year-old veterans in wheelchairs access to the World War II Memorial. And do not forget, there are more Honor Flight veterans that are coming into D.C. that are scheduled to come into D.C. to visit that memorial. And Barack Obama does not want 91-year-old veterans in wheelchairs to be able to visit the memorial that was erected in their honor at private expense. Do not forget, every single dollar that was used to build the World War II Memorial came from private donations, including some of the veterans that are now not even going to be allowed by President Obama to go there. And we played that soundbite yesterday. National Park Service will not promise that they will not arrest these veterans. She said, we're expecting cooperation. Well, will you arrest them? We're expecting cooperation. Would not promise that they're not going to haul these veterans away in handcuffs. Here's a story back to Obamacare for a second. This is a total catastrophe. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's possible, I did not think it was possible for this thing to be worse than we told you it was going to be, but it is. This Obamacare thing is an absolute unmitigated disaster. It is a catastrophe in every possible sense of the world. It is even worse than we thought it was going to be. It was worse than we told you it was going to be. Here's a guy from Fountain Hills in Arizona. Listen to this. A Fountain Hills man says he may soon have to get another job just to pay for health care insurance under the new Affordable Care Act. Notice even this is ABC. They're not calling it Obamacare. It's the Abominable Care Act. That's what I call it, ACA. That's Abominable Care Act. So he's going to have to get another job to pay for his insurance under the, quote, Affordable Care Act, end quote. Michael Cherpak, a high school dropout, one of 6 kids born to a school teacher, doesn't come from a wealthy family. He has run 2 businesses for more than 25 years and says he may have to do more literally to stay alive. He found out in 2006 he has an incurable form of leukemia, requires ongoing treatment until he dies. In 2012, his treatment bill was more than $350,000, but because of his insurance, his out-of-pocket was only $4,500. That's about to change because Michael just got a letter from his insurance carrier saying as of January 1, he would be dropped from coverage because of new regulations under Obamacare. At least they call it Obamacare the second time around. His doctor at the Mayo Clinic may be gone as well. He says this, now it doesn't mean I can't go to see my current doctor, but my $4,500 out of pocket is going to turn into a minimum of $26,000 out of pocket to see the doctor that I have been seeing for the last 7 years. I just cannot emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute upside down faceplant catastrophe Obamacare is turning out to be. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I did not think that things could be worse than we told you they were going to be, but they have spectacularly exceeded my expectations. This thing is immeasurably, abysmally worse than anything I told you it was going to be. So our projections that this thing was going to be an unmitigated disaster, our projections were optimistic. We were Little Miss Pollyanna talking about how this thing was going to work out. It's just, and it's just a crime. I got a story here about a security firm dumping 56,000 people into the exchanges. These people have no insurance now. They're going to have to go to this utter, unmitigated Chernobyl care meltdown disaster of a system. Can't even get on, can't even set up an account. When you do get on, you find that your premiums are absolutely going into orbit. I mean, I just cannot tell you how much it grieves me. And that's why we got to say to the Republicans, don't fold, defund. Don't fold, defund. This monstrosity, we got to fight this thing until we strangle the last ounce of breath out of this puppy. By the way, income tax, 100 years old today. today was the first day the federal government could legally collect income tax from the American people. And let's not forget, I want to go to the phones, but I'll just touch on this very briefly. Remember, when the income tax was passed, what the framers of the 16th Amendment meant by income was dividend income. They specifically exempted in their understanding, their definition of income, it did not include salaries and wages. This was dividend income, the kind of stuff you have to report on a 1099 form now, or corporate profits. That's what they meant by income. Investment income, dividend income. They did not mean wages and salaries. Wages and salaries were not supposed to be a part of this mix whatsoever, but because people redefined the word income, all of a sudden you and I got trapped in this thing. 1913, the tax code was 400 pages long. Today, 73,608 pages is the federal tax code today. 73,608 pages. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Michael, Crawfordville, Indiana. Michael, welcome. What's on your mind?
Well, I think you're right about the health care thing. Hopefully everyone else will see it too and vote them people out. But my thing is about the World War II Memorial. You know, where I live at in Crawfordsville, we have a World War II Memorial, and I invite any World War II veteran to come to that memorial. And because I have a lifetime license to carry, I will be willing to stand up and defend those people's right to come and visit that memorial.
Well, you know, and Mark Levin was saying yesterday on his program or 2 days ago, look, if they lay a hand on a vet, and this could happen. I mean, these honor flights are still scheduled to come in. And I don't know if people know much about honor flights. I'm not an expert on it by any stretch. But Honor Flights is a nonprofit organization to get these vets to these memorials so they can see them before they die. A lot of these guys, this is their one visit to D.C. And Mark Levin said, hey, look, if they lay one hand on a vet, I'm going to get 500,000 people down there in protest. Well, listen, I appreciate your support for the veterans, Michael, and we certainly all hope it doesn't come to anything like that. We hope that some kind of sanity is going to prevail in this deal. But we have a president that has no respect for the military, no respect for the veterans, no respect for the guys who stormed the beaches at Normandy. It's just a criminal thing. He shut down the cemetery at Normandy. Again, that's something that's completely unnecessary. All right, Michael, thank you for your call. Let's go to JR in Carrollton, Alabama. JR, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind? Yes, JR, go right ahead. Got about 45 seconds.
The main thing was the denial of access to the World War II veterans, closing of national parks, the closing down campgrounds, closing down open-air facilities that are not even manned. The big thing that they're demonstrating here firsthand is one of the main reasons you should know, that people should know, that you do not want the government in charge of your health care. Because once the government gets control of anything, they can then deny access to whomever they choose at that point. And that's, I mean, besides all of the other reasons, that's one of the major reasons you don't want the government in control of any more than they already have, especially your health care.
Yeah, all right, JR, couldn't agree more. You know, the guy we talked about with leukemia, I mean, he's a victim of a death panel. He's basically been told, unless you cough up an extra $22,000 a year, your treatment ends. You can't see your doctor. You can't keep your insurance. That's a death panel, ladies and gentlemen. Back in 2.